So you have a podcast on the network. I love talking about podcasts if you haven't noticed. But the podcast is called The Blackprint. Can you talk about like why was it important for you to create a podcast?
Yeah, the Blackprint has been through a really interesting evolution over the last few seasons. I think in the beginning when I set out to do the podcast, which actually, I've told this story many times, there wasn't a desire of mine. I never wanted to be in front of the camera. It's not something I wanted to do. It was something I was urged to do, pushed to do. As I was thinking about what can I contribute to this space, the beginning idea was almost like an anthology of the stories of Black people who had built really amazing things, right? So I'm talking to Angie from the Shade Room, who built the social layer for Black culture. I'm talking to D Nice, who built Club Quarantine and had everybody moving and jamming and escaping whatever was going on during COVID, right? What I was really trying to do in the very beginning was almost this like verbal autobiography of these great people who were disruptors and innovators in the Black space. So that's where the Blackprint started. This season, I'm so excited about it. But things have started to evolve. So there's still this piece of documenting their life and who they were and how they got to be who they were. But instead of it being almost like the original versions pre-season 4, were almost like resumes, right? How did you get here? What was your path? Now it's almost like a resume of their soul. How did you become who you became? Like, we're going to talk about, yes, you built this company, but how did you become this leader? What were the pivotal moments in your life that made you who you are? And then once we get that down, we jump into 2 pieces that are new that I love, which is there's always like this space of mastery. So this season, for example, you have Lena Waithe. Like, if I got Lena Waithe, like, I want to understand. She's talking to me about the rules that she has when characters in her room and the tension that always has to be created. Like, how can you extract teachable moments for the audience, those people who want to sit in their seats so they can learn? So there's always these like teachable moments or mastery components to it in this season that I'm loving. And then the other thing is just really trying to get and crystallize their point of view on the world, right? Given you become who you've become, given you've mastered what you've mastered, how do you see the world? Because I believe if we can share that perspective with the audience, you can help the audience start to see the world a little bit differently. And when you see the world differently, you start to make different decisions. And so this season is much more of a, how did you become who you became? The story of their becoming. What is it that you have mastery over that you can inform and teach the audience? And then what is your point of view on the world so that you can inspire us or challenge us to think differently? That I love, and it feels like a very differentiated space. We just wrapped the season, same as you, I think maybe last week. And I'm so sad, bro. Like, I feel like we found like a sweet spot. We know who are the right type of talent to sit across from me. And I honestly can't wait to get back in the chair. So if you say from the day 1 of season 1, it was like, I didn't want to be there. If you talk to me today, I'm like, oh no, I'm excited. I actually think we're building something quite special.
That's incredible, because I do love to know like what someone thought about podcasts beforehand and then like where they are now. And it really does seem like you've embraced like the medium and even potentially the conversation that you have with these people, because like people don't realize that you really get to talk to people in a way that they bring down all like a good amount of like their shields, and they're like, oh, well, we here talking.
That's right. No, and for the Blackprint, for me, it's almost like if I don't get those moments, if I don't get those vulnerable moments, if I don't get that glimpse into their soul, then I feel like the episode missed, right? And so I'm actually sitting down to get exactly what you just described, right? So yeah, it's been a journey. And I was hesitant in the beginning because there's billions of pieces of new content put up every day, right? So what's going to make yours different? What's going to make yours special? You and I, we're in this game every single day. I think the hardest thing about content today is just this idea of discovery and breaking through. I think there's tons of amazing content that dies, not because it's not good, but because the world never discovered it. Right. And so for me, it was trying to figure out, okay, if I'm going to be one of the billion posting today, how can I make sure that what I'm building, once people find it, is truly unique and distinct and doesn't exist